New tariffs against China went into effect this morning, and China quickly hit back. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, February 4th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. President Donald Trump signed an order on Saturday to impose tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. They were set to take effect just after midnight last night. Then, yesterday, Trump put the tariffs against Canada and Mexico on hold. That followed conversations with those countries' leaders. But Trump did not make a deal with China. So an additional 10% levy on Chinese imports went into effect as planned. This morning, China retaliated, announcing its own tariffs on some American imports and other measures. Those would go into effect next week. This on-again, off-again trade war sent markets on a ride yesterday, and it left businesses across North America puzzling over how much of Trump's tariff talk is real and how much is a negotiating tactic. To dive deeper into this story, check out the latest episode of Post Reports, our afternoon news podcast. Our reporters will talk you through what this all means for Americans. Find Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts. Number 2. Trump is preparing an order to dismantle the Department of Education. The draft of Trump's planned executive order acknowledges that only Congress can actually shut down the education department. So, short of that, the order directs the department to begin to shrink itself. That process is already underway. The new administration has put scores of employees on administrative leave and is pressuring staff to quit. The department still doesn't have a confirmed secretary. And Trump's billionaire donor friend, Elon Musk, has around 20 people from the Department of Government Efficiency working inside the education department. Some of them have gained access to sensitive internal systems. That includes data containing personal information for millions of students enrolled in the federal student aid program. The move comes as the Trump administration is also seeking to abolish the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. That agency oversees food aid, emergency relief, and health programs in more than 100 countries. Musk called it a criminal organization and said it was, quote, time for it to die. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defended Musk's work yesterday.
Well, first of all, Elon Musk is a once-in-a-generation business leader. He is an entrepreneur. He serves as a great ally and a friend to the president. And I think Elon Musk also has a little bit of common sense. And I think the American people really appreciate that when it comes to the federal government, because it seems like all common sense has been lost in this city.
Musk also said yesterday that he wants to delete the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That agency was created by Congress in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis to investigate and penalize corporate wrongdoing. It halted much of its work yesterday. Number 3. Republican-led states are pushing increasingly restrictive immigration measures. As legislative sessions get underway, lawmakers in red states are looking to support Trump's plans for mass deportations. Their efforts could reshape immigration enforcement. For example, some Missouri and Mississippi lawmakers have proposed allowing bounty hunters to detain undocumented immigrants. They would offer $1,000 rewards for tips that lead to arrests. In Tennessee, a lawmaker wants his state to bill parents for enrolling undocumented children in public schools. In Texas, legislators have proposed fingerprinting undocumented migrant children. And federal border authorities have deputized Texas National Guard soldiers to arrest and detain immigrants. Legal experts say these measures appear to test the boundaries of federal law, and they make it harder for undocumented immigrants to access legal, medical, and education services. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet with Trump today. That's our 4th story. Netanyahu is the first foreign leader to visit the White House in Trump's 2nd term. Speaking on Sunday, he framed it as a personal honor and a vindication of Israel's military actions in Gaza and across the Middle East.
The decisions we made in the war have already changed the face of the Middle East. Our decisions and the courage of our soldiers have redrawn the map. But I believe that working closely with President Trump, we can redraw it even further and for the better.
Trump and Netanyahu will discuss next steps in the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Yesterday, Trump said that deal may not hold. Negotiations over the deal's second phase are expected to start this week. Number 5. The largest insurance company in California asked to raise rates by 22%. Even before massive wildfires devastated parts of Los Angeles last month, an insurance crisis was brewing in California, with providers fleeing the state. Then came the fires, which destroyed more than 10,000 structures. Yesterday, State Farm wrote to state regulators with a request to steeply raise their rates. Californians hold 2.8 million policies with the company. State Farm said the recent fires were the costliest in its history. The insurer has already paid out $1 billion in claims and counting. The fires could threaten California's insurance market and send property insurance costs skyrocketing in fire-prone parts of the state. Our brains are filling with more and more microplastics. That's number 6. As the name suggests, microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic, and they are everywhere, in the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the water we drink. It turns out they're also in our brains. That's according to a new study. Researchers estimated that the average brain they studied had about 7 grams of microplastics in it. That's a little more than the weight of a plastic spoon. And the amount of microplastics in our brains appears to be increasing, rising by about 50% from 2016 to 2024. Researchers say this could have dangerous effects on our health. The scientists found that the brains of patients diagnosed with dementia had 3 to 5 times more microplastics than normal brains. And at number 7, more consumers are turning to cannabis-infused drinks. A market research firm estimated that last year, Americans spent $382 million on cannabis beverages, and that number is expected to grow. It seems that consumers are looking to get a little buzz without suffering a hangover the next day. Demand was high for these drinks in January, as more people were trying to avoid alcohol. The drinks are derived from hemp, which is legal to grow under federal law. A patchwork of state laws dictate where it's legal to sell them. They don't have very much THC, which is the psychoactive compound found in marijuana. But some companies say they can still provide a relaxing buzz, and everyone reacts to them differently. So if and when you're drinking them, it's probably best to assume that you aren't exactly sober. All right, you're mostly caught up. But there is so much more we don't have time to tell you here on the podcast. The best way to get truly caught up and to support the work of Post journalists is with a subscription to The Washington Post. Right now, you can get the first year of an all-access digital subscription for just $40. That's just a couple packs of cannabis-infused drinks. It may not be as relaxing, but it will make you smarter. Just head to WashingtonPost.com/subscribe. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.